Today I'm going to be showing you a demonstration of how to combine multiple toes into one foot. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is make your toes. So we've got toe number 1. I did them in different colors to make it a little easier for you to see. So toe number 1 is gray, toe number 2 is brown, and toe number 3 is green. The first two you go ahead and you fasten them off, leaving a long tail because you'll use that later, and then the third one you leave attached. So after you've got them all done, you're going to want to kind of squish them down so that they're folded in half. You want to be able to see the curve on the top and the curve on the bottom so that you can match them up nicely. If you squish it the wrong way, it's going to give you a different shape, more like a, triangle. So you want to make sure that you squish it the right way for matching that up. And then the first step for Kiefer, it's step number 16. You're going to do 10 stitches, continuing on toe number 3. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so you just did the bottom half of that toe. And now you're gonna take toe number 2 and put it up right next to it, and you go ahead and match it up. Make sure that your curves are going the same direction. And then you're gonna jump across to toe number 2 and do your 10 stitches there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now you've got the bottom of toe number 2. So then you're going to move on to toe number 3. Again, match up your toe, match up your curves. It's pretty much going to be, for Kiefer anyways, that first or the very next stitch that you would have gone into if you had kept going. So, and for this one, you want to do a full 20 stitches. Go all the way around the toe. You're doing the bottom and the top. So on Kiefer's pattern, I use 2 strands of yarn together. For this, I'm just using 1 for simplicity's sake. And I'm using a slightly larger hook so that there's bigger holes, so that hopefully you can see better on the video what I'm doing. It's a really nice way to put the toes on. I've tried a couple of different things. I've tried just doing, the foot blunt and then attaching toes to it, but it just doesn't look quite right. This is nice because it makes you feel like it's a part of the foot, like it grew on it. So nice not to have that seam. Okay, so once you make it all the way around, leave your tail out. You're going to want to hop back to toe number 2 and do your last 10 stitches around toe number 2. I try to do all my stitching really tight because the less stuffing that's showing, the better, in my opinion. I don't want it to show through very much. Okay. And then you're going to do the last 10 of toe number 3 that you started with. And again, leave the tail of toe number 2 hanging down. Oop, lost my loop. Three, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you can see how the green goes all the way around, and you're just going to continue to go around that green edge, which will make your oval of the toes. Then the other thing that I like to do is go back later, and there's a little bit of a gap in between the toes. I don't like that, so that's what I go ahead and use that tail for. I use the tail to stitch those together, and then I just weave the end of it in. Same with the other side. Use that one for that. And then you move on to the foot.